The series begins with Yoo Sai-jin and Seo Dae-young, South Korean army officers enjoying their vacation in a game store. Amid their playful use of game weapons, they suddenly hear a woman's distressing cry for help as a thief snatches something from her. Our heroes swiftly knock down the thief using rubber bullets, offer first aid, and summon an ambulance for him. During this incident, Yoo Sai-jin realizes his mobile phone has been stolen. Soon, he recollects that the pickpocket took it, and as they transport the thief on a stretcher to the hospital, the phone accidentally drops from him. A nurse retrieves it and receives Yoo Sai-jin's call. She guides him to the hospital's location before returning the phone to the thief. This is when the heroine, the stunned Dr. Kang Mo-yeon, makes her entrance. After the required medical examination, the hospital requests admission fees. Kim Gae-byung, the pickpocket, offers his mobile phone to guarantee he won't flee and then proceeds to the bathroom. Later, Yoo Sai-jin and his friend Seo arrive at the hospital to reclaim the phone. When they contact the doctor, she questions if they are the patient's guardians. Yoo Sai-jin clarifies that he's there for his mobile. Their gazes lock in mutual admiration for a brief moment. The doctor instructs the nurse to discharge the patient. Upon learning that the patient has escaped, Seo urges Yoo Sai-jin to hit the road to catch the escape before going any further. On their way, they stumble upon the pickpocket being accosted by a gang demanding money from him. Seo waves his wallet and challenges anyone who dares to take the money to step forward. A gang member steps up, but Seo swiftly throws him to the ground. Meanwhile, Yoon Myung-ju, Seo's girlfriend in the hospital, inquires about his whereabouts but receives no satisfactory answer until he returns to the hospital with the injured patient once more. She approaches him directly and asks him to follow her. In a flirtatious conversation, Yoo Sai-jin and Dr. Kang engage in a talk while she tends to the patient. She requests the assistant nurse to continue the treatment. He catches up with her, and she expresses her suspicion, mentioning her intention to inform the police. In a clever move, he takes the mobile phone from her, explaining they are on leave from the army, and involving the police could cause issues for them. Regarding Yoon, she blames Seo for neglecting her. He insists it's not negligence, but a change of heart, and thus they should part ways. He turns away, but she addresses him by his designation, Master Sergeant Seo, making him turn back and salute her in a military manner. She questions his audacity in ignoring his seniors. Yoo Sai-jin observes the situation and rebukes her actions, urging her to provide proof of their identity to the doctor, or else she'd have to report them to the police. In her emotional outburst, Yoon states that the two are runaway soldiers, and she must involve the police. Dr. Kang insists they follow her, and suggests checking security camera recordings to verify their identities. Upon viewing the recordings, Kang is impressed by their combat skills, reacting as if she's watching an action movie. Afterward, she regrets the misunderstanding from her side, and notices a wound on his waist. She cleans it, and changes the bandage. He explains it's an old wound, but the stitches opened up during the fight today. Kang offers to change the bandage every 3 days. The following day, Seo and Yoo Sai-jin visit to pay the hospital costs for their patient. Kim Gae-byung, he apologizes to them, and assures them he will never steal again. Meanwhile, they spot Kang rushing with a patient on a stretcher to the operating room. The operation lasts for 8 hours. Yoo Sai-jin waits for a while, but eventually returns home. Dr. Kang calls him to check on him. The next day, while waiting in the hospital, Yoo Sai-jin watches a hostage kidnapping incident on a television screen. He calls Seo to join the battalion for this operation and contacts Kang, informing her he's on the hospital rooftop. There, they see a helicopter approaching. Kang initially thinks it's for a patient, but Yoo Sai-jin clarifies it's for the operation he'll be part of. He promises to make up for their meeting when he returns. As he boards the helicopter, he gazes at her as if it's a farewell look. She responds by saying she'll wait for him, and he takes off. Kang faces challenges of her own. Despite earning the highest rank on her application for the professorship, she is filled with anxiety. Dr. Kim Myung-ji, who came second, is a formidable competitor due to her dependency on her father's prestige and financial resources. Dr. Kim ends up performing a surgery that Kang was supposed to lead, thanks to her connections and background, and Kang is relegated to the role of her assistant. Nevertheless, it becomes evident that Kim is losing control over her hands and nerves during the procedure. The patient's condition takes a turn for the worse, prompting Kang to take swift action to save the patient's life. Following this, Dr. Kim stitches up the incision. Outside the operating room, Kang is furious about Kim's inexperience during such critical moments. However, after her colleague speaks to her, Kang calms down, especially upon learning that her colleague is pregnant and planning to marry her boyfriend soon. As they sit and chat, Kang's friend asks if she has any pictures of Yoo Sai-jin, and Kang confesses that all she and as his daughter. At the boot camp, Kang roams around until she spots kids working behind a fence. She crosses into the restricted area and shares a chocolate bar with one of the children, which prompts the others to request more. Yu Sai-jin intervenes to rescue her. However, she accidentally steps on something, and Yu Sai-jin warns her not to move, claiming she's standing on a landmine. When she learns that he's teasing her, she leaves in a fit of anger and curses. Realizing his joke went away, he apologizes to her, which she accepts, but she firmly expresses her desire for no more such silly jokes. The next day, Kang and her colleagues at the camp prepare to receive injured or ill soldiers. Kang wishes to draw their blood and asks Yu Sai-jin to be the first volunteer. Suddenly, they hear a noise from outside and decide to investigate, which leads them to an overturned vehicle. Upon reaching the car's location, they discover a UN cargo truck. In their search for survivors, a UN relief worker emerges alive and attempts to shoot them. Yu Sai-jin quickly subdues him. To their shock, the back of the truck is filled with weapons, and both the truck and the man's ID are revealed to be fake. They promptly report the case to the local authorities. Kang inquires about the troops' Wi-Fi password. Seo explains that they are not allowed to disclose it to the general public due to regulations. However, he suggests that she can ride with Yu Sai-jin, whose route passes by the cafeteria, where she can get a better internet connection. They embark on a car ride and pass by a beautiful island. Instead of going to the cafeteria, they reach a workshop with stronger Wi-Fi service. Yu Sai-jin suggests she stay there until he returns. After reporting to his commander, Yu Sai-jin learns about the UN case involving armed smugglers. He doesn't want the Korean troops to become embroiled in such matters, so he orders Yu Sai-jin to keep a low-key profile regarding this issue. Yoon's father has a peaceful conversation with Seo, expressing his desire for Seo to take care of his daughter, given their romantic involvement. He subtly hints that this should be considered more than a suggestion, and, if necessary, an order. Upon returning to the camp, Seo finds a letter from Yoon, indicating her upcoming visit. On their way back, Kang asks how Yoon and Seo started dating. Seo explains that during a joint march, she was the first lieutenant, and he was a staff sergeant. As they faced various challenges together, their connection grew. During their journey back, they decide to take a motorboat sea trip and visit an island. Yu Sai-jin describes it as an enchanted island, saying that taking a pebble from the beach ensures you'll return. Inside a shipwreck, Yu Sai-jin confesses to Kang that he is enchanted by her love. In response, she mentions her busy life awaiting her once she returns home. Back in the hospital, there's a child suffering from anemia due to malnutrition and food poisoning. Yu Sai-jin helps diagnose the child's condition, indicating that Kang is just a TV doctor. However, the action picks up as the Korean troops prepare to receive a VIP Arab figure who is ill and has been transferred to Dr. Kang's camp. When Kang reads the VIP's medical report, she discovers that personal information in the chart has been redacted. The head of the mission provides a diabetes solution, but when she injects the VIP with it, his condition worsens and his stomach swells. Kang realizes that she can only save him by performing surgery, but the head of the mission refuses, emphasizing that they must follow instructions without interference. The commander contacts Yu Sai-jin, ordering him to comply with the Arab instructions, as they do not want to intervene. They plan to create a cover-up story, blaming the doctor for being unable to save the VIP if he dies. Yu Sai-jin opposes his commander's orders. Meanwhile, the Korean authorities are concerned about the critical situation at the camp and want the chief commander to stop the medical team from taking reckless actions. Kang proceeds with the operation, ultimately succeeding in saving the VIP's life. The chief commander contacts Seo and appoints him as the captain of the Alpha team, as Yu Sai-jin disobeyed orders. The commander scolds Yu Sai-jin, claiming he has jeopardized his future. He responds that he doesn't care about the consequences, as they have saved a life. The VIP patient regains consciousness, and when they leave the camp in a helicopter, the head assistant looks at the doctor with gratitude for saving the VIP Arab leader's life. Out of loyalty to his captain, Seo refuses to assume Yu Sai-jin's position and heads home. Before departing, he finally reveals his feelings to Yoon. In gratitude for saving the VIP's life, the president extends an invitation to both Yu Sai-jin and Kang. They visit him and receive special treatment and a generous reward, including a card granting them access to whatever they desire. On their way back to the camp, they enjoy an alfresco meal. However, when they reach Uruk's HQ, Yu Sai-jin faces a disciplinary hearing. The chief commander's punishment includes forfeiting the promotion exam and a 3-month salary reduction. Kang intervenes and confronts the commander, asserting that it's not Yu Sai-jin's fault. He pulls her away from the commander and explains that his actions were for the sake of Korea, not for her. She tells him she acted out of love for him, but after today, she intends to stay away from him. To mend their relationship, Yu Sai-jin invites Kang for a delicious meal in the cafeteria. Outside, he encounters the same fake UN relief worker, and during the encounter, he recognizes the gangster's boss, David Argus, a former Delta Force captain who chose a criminal path after losing a close friend in a battle. Kang learns from Daniel what Yu Sai-jin's real occupation is. Frustrated, she drives away in haste, and her car speeds down a sloping hill, teetering over the edge, with Kang still inside. Yu Sai-jin calls her, and in no time, he arrives. Both fall into the water, but he rescues her and administers CPR until she regains consciousness. At David's place, they issue a threat to Jin, the owner of an electricity supply company, demanding that he arrange the requested diamonds within a week. On a happier note, they organize a farewell party for Yu Sai-jin at the camp, but Kang is unsettled, especially because he didn't inform her. When they finally meet, he expresses his love for her, but she responds that he is a good man always surrounded by danger. The new day dawns, and Kang inquires about Yu Sai-jin's whereabouts. Kim Gaibium informs her that he is likely on his way back to Korea. In Korea, Yu Sai-jin is celebrating his father's retirement as an army officer and reunites with his friend Seo. They share drinks and laughter, reflecting on the irony of their situation. Their significant others are at the camp, while they enjoy their time back home. Back at the camp, the medical team bids farewell as their mission comes to a close. The first group, including Kang, boards a helicopter to leave. However, while in the air, an earthquake strikes the city, causing widespread destruction and casualties. Witnessing the devastation, Kang makes the crucial decision that the medical team must return to provide aid. On the other hand, Yu, Sai-jin, and Seo voluntarily decide to fly back to the camp to assist with rescue efforts for the earthquake victims. The medical team works tirelessly to save as many lives as possible, while soldiers descend from helicopters to join the effort. Yu Sai-jin seizes the opportunity to apologize to Kang for leaving without saying goodbye, and Seo does the same when reuniting with Yoon. At a power station, two men are trapped under rubble, with one pinned beneath a large stone, and the other impaled by an iron object. Using their equipment to detect signs of life, they manage to rescue several individuals. However, the two injured men require Kang's expertise. She faces a heart-wrenching decision. To save one life means the other will die, as freeing one will cause debris to fall on the other. Ultimately, she chooses to save the man with the iron in his chest. Yu Sai-jin offers a silent prayer for the man who perished under the rock. Back at the hospital, they work relentlessly to save the surviving man's life. After a lengthy operation, they succeed in rescuing him. The soldiers get rewarded for their bravery and selfless acts for the sake of saving people. An emotional fit gets into Kang's nerves because of the dead people who they couldn't help. Yu Sai-jin calms her down and gives her a shoulder to cry on. In spite of the danger of the armed smugglers, Jin faces a severe beating until he finally succumbs, on the edge of death, in exchange for information about the diamonds. Meanwhile, Seo and Yu Sai-jin are still attempting to rescue another man trapped beneath the rubble. To do so, they require heavy machinery. Seo leaves to fetch it, but as he is with Yoon, they feel the ground trembling once more. The earth crumbles, leaving Yu Sai-jin and the injured man beneath it, leaving them with no apparent way to the surface. It turns out Jin was digging to retrieve the diamonds from beneath his office, and one of the soldiers removes him from the tractor. After some challenging work, they manage to rescue the trapped men and conduct medical checkups on both. Within the medical team, a decision is made to return to Korea. That night, Kang attempts to lift the camp's spirits by asking Daniel to broadcast a song from her recordings. However, instead of the intended song, he plays an audio recording she made while near death in the car accident, in which she confesses her love for Yu Sai-jin. Upon hearing this, Yu Sai-jin rushes to Daniel. Kang tries to stop the recording, but it's too late. Her heartfelt confession is now known to all. With her pride gone, she is fully immersed in her feelings for him. One day, while in his car, they get into an accident. Miraculously, they escape the car, only to discover they are in a landmine field. With his expertise, Yu Sai-jin safely navigates them out of danger. They hitchhike their way back to the camp. In the pickup trunk, Kang tells Yu Sai-jin that she wants to stay close to him, that she can't leave him, and their love for each other is declared. Jin hands the bag of diamonds to David, pleading for his life. David refrains from killing him, but becomes furious upon discovering the bag is empty, realizing he has been deceived. The scene transitions to the medical team boarding the bus to return to Korea, with Jin among them. The chief commander summons Yu Hai-jin, Seo, and Yoon to his office, expressing concern for his daughter. He questions Yu Sai-jin about his feelings for her, to which he denies any romantic involvement. After dismissing him, the chief commander asks Seo if he loves his daughter. Seo declares his commitment and willingness to marry Yoon. The chief commander agrees to the marriage, but on the condition that Seo leaves the camp and returns to his father's company, to which Seo agrees, bringing great joy to Yoon. In the car, Kang is with the boy who had received treatment at the medical center, and Yu Sai-jin is taking him to his hometown. There, they encounter many children in gangs. Kang crosses paths with David, and a young girl named Fatima shoots him. Despite his pleas for help, Kang adheres to Yu Sai-jin's reminder that it's her duty to save lives. David manages to escape before the authorities apprehend him, and he threatens Fatima that he will not hesitate to kill her if they meet again. In her room, Kang offers Fatima food and water, but the girl expresses anger at how they allowed such a cold-blooded criminal to escape. So, Seo and Yoon are on a mission to save the rest of the children from the clutches of David, but they do not find a single child there. When Yu Sai-jin informs the chief commander, he advises against interfering with the gang's affairs and to stay clear of outsiders' troubles. Yu Sai-jin complies with the orders and instructs Seo not to get involved. At the medical base, the doctors notice that a considerable amount of their medical supplies has gone missing. Kang suspects that Fatima is the thief because she cannot find her in the camp. Fatima agrees to provide the stolen medicines in exchange for help in escaping. And Yu Sai-jin encounters a woman who has a connection with the medicine smuggler and requests her to reveal their location. She complies, leading them to the same UN imposter. Suddenly, they hear Fatima's distress call from inside. Through tactical maneuvering and taking the gang members by surprise, Yu Sai-jin engages in a fight. Meanwhile, Kang arrives at the scene in her car, rescuing Fatima and Yu Sai-jin. However, the car breaks down. Yu Sai-jin contacts his friend Seo to save them. Jin's greed leads him to swallow the diamonds, and at the airport, he disguises himself in Arab attire, but the authorities arrest him. After learning of his capture, David endeavors to retrieve Jin to find the precious diamonds hidden within him. But a brave soldier, Yu Sai-jin, storms in and rescues Jin, leaving the gangster alive. Jin is taken to the hospital, where Kang and Yoon proceed with the operation to extract the diamonds from him. However, once they open him up, his blood splatters onto their faces, and they discover that his body carries a contagious virus. They urgently ask the rest of the medical team to leave the room. Yu Sai-jin and Seo become aware of the situation in the operating room and rush to the medical center, only to find Kang and Yoon quarantined. Yoon assures them that they won't die, and that they are awaiting the lab results, which eventually confirm the presence of the virus. Yoon remains in quarantine until she is cured or the virus is contained. At the camp, David demands his diamonds in exchange for the virus vaccines. Simultaneously, the doctor discovers an effective treatment for the virus and shows his research findings to Kang, who validates their accuracy, and they request Daniel to retrieve the vaccines. In quarantine, Yoon calls her father, pleading with him to allow Seo to continue with the work he loves. He agrees, and Yoon faints on the ground. Meanwhile, Kang waits for Daniel, but he calls to inform her that the vehicle carrying the vaccines has been stolen. Kang stresses that if the vaccine doesn't arrive within an hour, Yoon's life will be in jeopardy. David contacts Yu Hai-jin, reminding him of their deal, the diamonds in exchange for the vaccines. However, Seo intervenes, knocking the gangs to the ground. In the camp, Fatima is arrested on charges of smuggling medicines, and Kang is unable to help her. Thankfully, Yoon is saved at the last moment. In a touching moment, Seo takes her hand in both of his hands, waiting for her fever to subside. In the morning, Yoo Sai-jin and Meanwhile, David manages to escape with Kang, following his deal with Yoo Sai-jin to open the roads for him. As they approach a critical moment, Seo communicates with Yoo Sai-jin through a mini microphone device, stating that he has a clear shot at David. Yoo Sai-jin, however, signals that Kang is in danger, with a ticking bomb strapped to her waist and the remote control in David's hands. In this crucial moment, David puts his hand on Kang's shoulder, which irritates Yoo Sai-jin. David burns all his cards at once when he says by mistake that the green wire leading to the explosive bomb is fastened above her right shoulder. In a fraction of a second, he asks Kang to stand still, and he, accurately, shoots the wire. From outside, Seo pours the bullets on the gang, and they unwrap Kang of the ticking bomb. They throw it throughout the window where it explodes, causing no harm to anyone. David is still alive. He picks up the pistol and shoots at Kang. Yoo Sai-jin takes the bullet and Seo shoots David to death. On the helicopter to the base to get the treatment she needs, Kang is about to faint. Yoon learns that her boyfriend came back safely. She hugs him long enough to send us, the viewers, into a long coma. Kang wants to thank Yoo Sai-jin, but she finds him sitting somewhere burning a photo of his friend from the camp, David. Kang says that he hides all sorts of things from her. She wants to leave him this time for real. But what reality are you living in, Dr. Kang? Yoo Sai-jin is clean now, and all is into life. He invites her over for a coffee date, which she accepts. She says she's back to him only for the coffee. Back in the hospital in Korea, the chairman welcomes the heroes with banners, flowers, and rewards. Indeed, life is good. Kang with Yoo Sai-jin, camping under the stars, walking on the beaches, fishing, and taking photos and selfies. And she never forgets the pebble from that enchanted island. She brings it back to the shipwreck, where she sits stargazing in the sky next to the love of her life. And the clapperboard claps at unity and love as the outcome of the beginning of their lives together.